Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon for those of you in Asia. Fernando, do you want to you give me a sense of when you think we should start? Is that okay?
Yes, I'll let you know.
We'll give a minute or so for people to come in. Still a couple of people. Yes, still people arriving. Hello, everybody. Welcome from wherever you are. A couple of familiar names here, I think. Definitely people from the Middle East, from Sub-Saharan Africa. Welcome, welcome. All right. I think we'll get started as a little bit of housekeeping anyway. So, as I said, welcome to you all. Thank you for joining this English language guidance session for the 2026 edition of what is now called the Luxembourg Award for Inclusive Finance, formerly the European Microfinance Award. My name's Sam. I'm a financial inclusion specialist at e-MFP. With my colleague Fernando, who's going to be presenting as well today. We're part of the team at e-MFP that oversees the design, implementation, and the evaluation phases of the award each year. This will be my 11th award that I've been involved in this capacity, but the award goes back 20 years, as many of you know. A little bit of housekeeping just before we start. This is a webinar. It is designed to be a guidance session and for you to be able to ask questions, but we ask that you do using the Q&A function. There is also a chat. Fernando will be posting a few links there, and you can say hello to each other. But in the Q&A, which should be active. Fernando, is it active?
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
great, great. Thank you. Then please put questions there and try and make them as specific as possible, and we will try and we'll answer them throughout. The session is recorded. You will be able to catch up on it there. There are subsequent sessions in Spanish and French today and tomorrow as well. But imagine you knew that already. So I'm going to talk for just a few minutes to kick off. I'm going to present a little bit about the awards background, the recent rebrand, then pivot to the 2026 award, this one, a little bit about the objectives, the process, eligibility and timeline, and then I'm going to hand over to Fernando, who's going to share his screen, which is the platform, the Award Force platform, where you will actually do your application and show you how it works, what to look out for, and then be able to take any questions. We started doing these guidance sessions, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. We found them very helpful, and we have heard from uh, uh, applicants that they found it very useful as well, particularly for those who are first timers, and it just helps make sure that higher quality in round one. So, what is Oops, there we are. What is what's now called the Luxembourg Award for Inclusive Finance? It's an international award that recognizes innovative financial inclusion initiatives. It's on a different topic each year, and each year seeks to highlight excellence and innovation in that topic. This is the 20th year. It was biennial for the first few years, and since 2010 has been an annual award. Was launched in 2006 by the Luxembourg government. It's co-organized by e-MFP and Infine, which is the Luxembourg financial inclusion platform, and of course supported by the Luxembourg Ministry for Foreign Affairs and with partnership with the European Investment Bank as well. And as I said, it really seeks to highlight innovative practices that can be replicated globally. This, to give you an idea for those who don't know, are the previous year's awards. If you go down the left, you can see that we had outreach, value chain finance, the environment, post-conflict, and then in recent years, healthcare, financial inclusion for women, food security, refugees, and last year on inclusive insurance. This year, as you well know, the topic is on unlocking youth inclusive finance. So the award seeks to highlight organizations active in financial inclusion that accompany young people as they navigate life's key stages, helping them develop skills and seize the opportunities needed to build a prosperous future. There's a lot of components to that, and I commend to you that little descriptive phrase. A lot goes into it because there are a lot of components there, and it will give a very good indication of what the evaluation teams are going to be looking for and prioritize. Who are youth? There is no hard and fast floor and ceiling on the age definition of youth. Many of you will know that there are various definitions. Often it's 18 to 35, used by different international organizations. We are focusing primarily on 15 to 30. I say primarily because if you have some sort of targeted product that is for sort of early emerging adults in their early 30s, then that's not out of scope. But we see primarily youth in three stages here: late adolescence, so late secondary school age, young adults up to mid 20s, and then emerging adults, which will be late 20s. Who are youth? It's not enough that you serve young clients or have young clients. The blurb that we saw here says that what the evaluators will be really looking for is initiatives that really understand the journey that young people go on through life stages with an intentionality about to help them seize opportunities and build a prosperous future at several key life stages. Even the photo that you can see there, that you'll see a lot of this collage of photos, you can see education, graduation, entrepreneurship, a business, a young family, someone building a home. These are illustrative of just some, but not an exhaustive list of the stages that people go through in those early years. And we want to see how financial inclusion organizations can support them to navigate those stages and recognizing that the needs evolve over those stages. What will the award look for? Again, this is in no way exhaustive, but just to give you an idea, there needs to be a financial inclusion component, which typically will be some form of financial services such as savings, credit, or credit for enterprise, or insurance, or remittances, and often will have a non-financial component as well: financial literacy, entrepreneurship, training, mentoring, and coaching. These are not hard and fast, but it is a financial inclusion award. And generally, the applicant organizations will offer financial services themselves, but that is not always the case. And we can talk about this after. It is possible for organizations that don't directly serve clients to be able to apply if they have a partner that does serve clients and that they can provide a sufficient amount of information themselves about those clients. Who can apply? Again, this is designed to be as broad a scope as possible and non-prescriptive. So it's organizations active in financial inclusion is the strict definition. That may mean FSPs like MFIs or banks, NBFIs, NGOs. It could be fintechs as well, or other support organizations in some contexts. The organization has to be operational for at least 2 years. This is a strict requirement. And the initiative, or what we'd call the youth inclusive approach, has to have been operational for at least 1 year. This is designed to mean that new pilots are not going to be eligible. So it's often the case that there will be multiple different components to an initiative. And so case by case, we'll look at those. But generally speaking, what we would call the primary initiative that you are showing to us has to have been operational for at least 1 year. The organization must operate in a eligible country. That list is in the guidelines. We'll show that to you. It's basically the list of low to middle income countries. There needs to be a bank account in that country in case you are a winner or a finalist, and you need to be able to provide audited financial statements generally for the previous 3 years. In certain cases, we'll accept only 2 years of audited financial statements for young organizations, but these are required. Why apply? This award is a rigorous but an extremely high profile award and has increasingly become so over the years. The headline figure is that there's 100,000 euros for the winner and 10,000 for each of the two runners up, which is significant, of course, but there are benefits that go far beyond that. Beyond the three finalists, there's a list of usually 10 what we'd call semi-finalists, a long list, that are profiled in a publication that's produced at the end of the process, that's widely read and used as a resource. It is typically in the top 10 FinDev list. The winners and finalists as well will be invited to the Inclusive Finance Conference, which used to be called European Microfinance Week in November. It's during that the ceremony happens. There will be webinars, events in the subsequent year where different semi-finalists will be profiled as well, and also other opportunities to connect with leaders in inclusive finance, funders, and the like. So there is a financial prize, but we believe that the visibility and the platform that comes from going far in this process is just as important, if not more so. This is the way the process works. Round one is currently open. It opened 9 days ago and is open until April 12th, so another almost 3 weeks. In this shorter round, you will provide an overview of your institution, a bit about the initiative that you'll be presenting. You'll be asked to submit the AFS and provide some data in tables. Fernando's going to show you in a moment what this looks like in practice. Successful applicants will be invited to round two, which is a more comprehensive form. There will be more details and data required to be submitted, supporting documentation, including a letter from an e-MFP member. If you don't have a relationship with an e-MFP member, we will help you find one. That's not a problem. And there'll be monitoring and outcomes information required. And this is what the process looks like. So the application opened on the 16th. It will close on that says the 16th, but it's actually the 12th. Is that right, Fernando? That's a mistake. That's April 12th. Apologies. Yep. So at midnight, at the end of April 12th, is the round one application closes. Then the applications will be reviewed by a committee, and then round two will open in May, close end of May to early June. Then there'll be a selection committee. The selection committee will choose the 10 semi-finalists, and among them the 3 finalists. They are announced in early October, and then the winner is announced at the award ceremony, which is on November 12th. So that is enough for now. That's a lot of information. Most of that stuff is in the guidelines, which you have hopefully seen. We will make sure that you see the link several times again in the chat. But there may be some questions that aren't captured there. There are often questions about eligibility that come up. So for now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to hand over to Fernando, who's going to show you the portal. Please do put your questions in the Q&A section so that we will try to address them. Some of them we'll just address in writing, and then some of them we'll take orally at the end. So Fernando, over to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Sam. Hello, everyone. As you can see, we shared some links on the chat already, and you found the official award website, which is this one that I am sharing right now. And then once you click on Apply Now, this will take you to the applications portal that it's opening right now. And here, the first thing we have to do is to create an account if we don't have one already, since I'm already here, I just need to log in. So I'm going to write my password now. If you don't have an account, you will receive a code via email. And once you receive this code, you just need to confirm your email address and you can log in normally. And this is the view that you will get once you log in. As Sam said, the applications are open until April 12th, not the 16th as it was on the slide. So it's April 12th, the date of closing. And you will be able to find here the award guidelines as well. We already shared this on the chat too. You can review. This is a very important document. If you prefer to have an overview of the application form, of round one application form, you can have it here. It says work version. You can download the application form and even work offline if you prefer. And of course, once you are ready with your answers, then you will have to write all your answers and send them through the award system, because this is the only platform through which we receive the applications. If you have any questions here, you have the award email address. You can write us and we'll be back to you as soon as possible. So I will start my application here. You find the red button here. And the first thing I have to do is to write a name for my application. We recommend that this name is the same as your organization's name. This way, there will not be confusion. So here, for example, I will just write test and save and next. Okay, so you can see on top here on the different tabs, right? These are the only tabs that are active now because it's of course round one. And these are all the ones that you will have to go through to fill in your application before submitting. So the first thing, as Sam mentioned, is the eligibility check. So here, please go through each point and make sure that you comply with everything. And once you, of course, these are mandatory questions. Once you can review and check all of them, you click save and next, okay? So all of these questions you can see, Sam mentioned most of them. It's about your country. If you are in the list of eligible countries, you can find it here. If you are operational for at least 2 years, if your initiative is in place for at least 1 year, etc. Then you will have to provide some contact information. All these fields are mandatory, so please fill them carefully. Title and position, also your phone number. I'm just entering random data now. And here, the support letter that Sam mentioned as well, at some point in round two, especially, you will need to provide the support letter. Please go through the list of members. You can find the list of e-MFP members here, and check if you have already some links with any of the organizations. Otherwise, write here some comments so we are aware if you don't have any link with any member yet. We are aware that you might need some support from our side if you are invited to round two. Once you're ready, you click save and next, and then as you can see, the first part is the institutional overview. We will be asking you questions about your organizations, the year that in which you started. Let's just enter some random data, your website. As you can see, all of the questions most of the questions are mandatory. And even if you find questions that are not mandatory and just optional, but if you have the answers, please provide them, because this will allow us to assess your application properly. Sam mentions the tables as well. You will find some tables. Please fill them. For example, here, total number of institution staff, right? We just need to enter numbers here. I will not be able to Let me see here. Yes, you can just enter numbers. I think this is correct. Yeah. Once you have all this information about your organization, as you can see the tables, for example, here, the second table, you will find that it's optional. But if you have the information, please fill in the information with all the data from your organization, as I already said. Okay, and then save and next. You will find some tables that have an option to add more rows if it's the case, because sometimes we ask you for a list of services, for example, and you will see the table only has 2 or 3 rows. But if you have more than 3 services, of course, you can keep adding rows and keep describing them. Then you will find this section about your initiative, your approach for youth inclusive finance. And this is, of course, one of the core parts of your application, because in this section you will be telling us how you understand the context, how well you understand the context where you operate, and also what you are doing to address the needs of your target population, right? So please here, this is the main question, right? Who are your organization's young clients? So you can describe here. You have a limit of words. I think it's 400 words. So please be aware of these and provide as much information as you can, so we can understand more about your approach or the context where you operate. Then here, if you keep going, you will find, of course, how you are serving young people. What's your program about? What's your initiative about? So please keep providing all the information. And then you can see here, the main question is on the right side of the screen, on the left side of the screen. And then you have some guidance text on the right side of the screen, right? Please read it carefully. Yeah, it might help you to understand better the question. It might provide you more insights on how to answer. If you keep going, you will find other questions related to your initiative, to your program. And then here's an example of the tables that we were talking about. So when we ask, for example, about financial products and services, here you can write the name of the service. For example, I will write loans, very generally, just to give you an example. And then I will provide the information for 2025, 24, and 23, right? So I will just write the numbers here. And if I need to add more services, I will just add a row. Yeah, so I will keep adding savings, for example. Yeah. Just a recommendation, please be as specific as you can here. I'm just writing generally, as you can see, just to illustrate. But if you have a specific name for a loan or a specific name for a savings program, please write the name of the program, and also for the non-financial services. Okay. Then, as you can see, we will ask you more information about your organization here, more specifically, if you are an organization that provides loans. Of course, these tables are optional because it depends on the organization. If you provide loans, please fill all the information about the loans you provide here. If you provide deposit accounts, do the same here. And then you will find, of course, the information also for insurance and for non-financial services as well. Yeah? Once you are ready with this, and you make sure that the information is accurate, you can click Save and Next. An important thing is that you can always come back to your application where you left off, let's say. So you don't need to finish the application immediately. Let's say if you want to start, you want to log in today, you want to start your application, You can do so as long as you click save. Save and next, or save and close, right? You click save and close, this will take me out of the system. And then I can continue later on, okay? But we will get to the part where we really need to click submit, otherwise we won't receive your application once you're done. But first, let's go through one of the main parts of round one, which is the section where you provide your financial statements, right? So here you'll see this in the tab that says component 3. Then you can provide your financial statements. We provide all the instructions here for you to understand how this works. But basically, if you have the 3 financial statements for the past 3 years, please share them here in this section, so you will be able to attach your files here, and to share some comments in case only in the case that you don't have any of them. And then you can explain the reasons why you are not providing your financial statement, so we can understand better your situation. But if you have that information, please submit when you do with alongside your application form. Okay. Once you are ready, I think I need to upload here, otherwise the system won't let me submit my application, right? Because these fields are mandatory. So let me do so quickly. I'm just going to upload any file here. Okay. And once I'm ready, I will be able to submit my applications here. And then the button to submit will activate. It should activate now. See. Okay, I think it's still in progress, the upload, so that's why it's not active yet. It should be active shortly. An important thing that we wanted to mention as well is that you can always change your settings. Yeah, in this case, we are not going to mention the language, because we assume that all of the potential applicants that are here on the webinar will be applying in English, right? But if it's the case that you want to change your language, you can do so. And also other settings such as your email, your other information, your email, your phone number, for example, you can do so. I will show you quickly where you can do this. Once you're ready with everything, in the last part of the application form, you can just check, make sure that you comply with all and you consent with all these points. Please read this carefully, and once you have completed everything, you can submit your application. This is a very important part, right? If I don't submit my application, if I only save, we won't receive your application. So please make sure that you click here on submit your application, and you will receive, let's try this. You will receive a confirmation text. Let's see. It says that there is some tabs that I didn't fill, right? Okay, this is a good example. If there are some mandatory tabs, mandatory questions, let's say that you didn't complete, then the system will tell me where they are, right? So now it's telling me it's in section component 2, section 2B. And then I will find the question that it's not complete, right? This was mandatory, for example, right? And then I didn't fill it. So once I fill, this is the currency, let's say euro, and then I need to do the same for the others, okay, quickly. Yeah. But once you complete all the mandatory questions, then you should be able to submit your application, okay? Yeah, I think this is understood. We don't need to go on more on the details. But if you have any questions on how the platform works, please you can share them on the chat on the Q&A. Before stop sharing my screen, I just wanted to show you here on the top right side of the screen. Here's where you will find the settings, right? So if I go to profile, then you can modify the settings at all times, okay? So you can see I can change the language, I can change my preferences here, yeah, the subscriptions. Just make sure that you accept when you sign in on the platform, just make sure that you accept um, the subscriptions or the questions that you consent to receive information via email. Otherwise, the system won't be able to send you important information directly to your email, because this is what we do. Uh, we use the platform to send you all the notifications. So this is an automatic system. So if you don't provide consent to receive all this information, you will be missing important notifications. So just make sure that you accept this when you start your application. Okay, I think that's it. If you have any comments, questions, please go ahead.
Thanks, Fernando. Yes, we did have some that I've addressed while you were sharing. So for those of you who haven't seen, there was one question about whether the age range is a hard limit, but also how do you compete given the range is wide open. This is a feature, not a bug. We are very used to in these initiatives, in these previous awards, having a topic which can welcome a variety of different types of approaches. That's happened many, many times, and the form and the evaluation rubrics are designed to make sure that all are eligible. So if you are doing, for example, sort of savings accounts and education for teens, there will be an opportunity for you to present that. If you focus on vocational training for young adults or housing microfinance or things like that, likewise. So yes, it's wide open. It may be that certain organizations serve a large range of those subsegments of young people at different stages. There is an opportunity to list various different products and services in these fields that you offer. So it's not a disadvantage or an advantage if your focus is narrow or broad. There was another one about there are a couple on AFS, Audited Financial Services. We get these questions every year about what about if our 2025 ones are only draft or not ready. This is often the case, and that's absolutely fine. Please submit in round one the ones you have, which will often be, for example, 2023, 2024. If your 2025 are still in draft, which is very common because different countries have different financial years and auditing timelines, then there's an opportunity for you to just mention that and say, for example, it'll be available in May or June or April. And then if that's the case, if you are successful and going to round two, you can submit the final one as late as June. So that happens very frequently, no problem at all. We've got one more open question coming here. Thank you for the financials are yet to be approved. Okay, I think that's the same question. If hopefully they would be approved by, as we say, by June. If it's later than that, so that it would be after the Northern Hemisphere summer that they were to be approved, for example, let us know. It may be that we can, for example, accept draft ones or something else for 2025. We'll try and be as flexible as possible for things that are entirely out of your control. But our experience is that generally there will be most countries, the AFS would for 2025 would be done by June of the following year. Is it possible to have many people from the same organization joining the platform, or is it only one to submit the application? What we recommend is that there is a point person who then collects the relevant information from the various teams in the organization. That's usually how it works well. But no, it is one person who represents the organization. In fact, one of the very first questions is the name of the individual and their title, and that is the person who will receive the correspondence. So no, it is it goes through one person. Is there anything on Fernando, to add to that? I've not.
Yes, you're right, Sam. So our recommendation is that we have only one person to contact. So of course, you can discuss internally and agree what you will be sending, but then we recommend having only one contact for each organization.
Okay. What if we have different use-related programs and products? How do we be judged separately from an MFI who competes with one product? I think I've covered that somewhat. The form, if you've had a chance to look at it in both round one and round two, allows you to talk both in general about your strategy and your approach and who you are as an organization, and to be able to break out the different, as you say, use-related programs. So there is a table where you can add lines. So you'd be able to say, we've got one product that is focused on this segment and this and details about it, and another one here, and another financial product here, and then equally a table for non-financial products and services as well. So I think I see my colleague Daniel's also typing something at the same time, so he's probably going to expand on that. But we are accustomed to some organizations having a fairly singular approach, doing one product or service at one sub-segment, and others that is much more varied. I'll let Daniel amplify that written if he wishes.
Sam,
Yes.
there is a hand raised as well from.
We're not doing microphones, but so this is from Asil. If you'd like to please put your question written in Q&A, I will. Oh, this is the okay. So this is the question about A and B, which I think you saw. I've replied to. This was both on the AFS question, which we've covered, but also if you say that you focus on youth financing in Yemen, but also provide a form of microinsurance, should you include it? I would say there is plenty of scope in the form you will see to talk about things that are not specifically the youth inclusive response, but which are about the organization and your approach generally. I think it will be clear how to do that. For example, in this case, the insurance has a specific youth focus, then I would suggest to include it within the initiative. If it doesn't, if it's a generalized product and it is relevant to who you are as an organization and who you serve and what you do, then there's plenty of place in the about the organization section. I hope that's okay. So we've only got one open question at the moment, and that's Daniel still, I think, just answering that. I might just read out what he's written just for everyone else's benefit. This is about the different use-related programs, and Daniel's written, on the whole, we're looking at an applicant's overall products and services provided for youth. Some may do this via specific products targeted at youth. Some may serve youth through general products meant for all ages. And the application is structured to effectively showcase. Yes, that's right. Thanks. I think we may have all the questions that we were going to get. Last chance for anyone to put a question in the Q&A. But this isn't the only opportunity to ask questions. For example, if you let me just move that out of the way. If in the process of filling out the form in the next couple of weeks, you have a question, that email address that you can see on screen is the dedicated email address for this. Please do send questions there. Try to be specific. Also, please, if they are things that are easily found in the guidelines or in the explanatory notes in the form, please try and find them there first, because we have a lot to handle this time of year. But if there's something that's not covered, we often find these are questions on eligibility, where country based, or if an organization is part of a network, please put them there. We will try to we will get back to you. The QR code there will take you to the relevant information you see, but you should have all seen it by now. We have the new website for what's now the Luxembourg Award for Inclusive Finance there, inclusivefinanceaward.lu. There, and as well as in the chat, you will see the concept note and award guidelines that has lots of other information. And I would finally commend to you not to leave it to the last minute. There are sometimes organizations that race at the last minute and either miss the deadline or that there's something that they can't have that they needed. So suggest to you not to just do this on the Sunday, the last day of the window. I don't see any more questions now. Fernando's putting the final things in the chat. So thank you from us all. Very good luck. We're very excited about this. This is a great topic. We've had great awards over the last many years. Speaking personally, I'm very excited about this. I've learned a lot only in the last few months about this topic by speaking to the various experts. We have done so to put together the forms, the materials, the grid to make sure that this really does find the best practice and be able to showcase it for replication by others. So thank you very much. Have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And there will also be, this will be recorded, and there will be the Spanish and French language versions of this webinar today and tomorrow, for example, if there are colleagues that may need that. Thank you very much, and have a good day. Bye-bye.